Welcome to the Guest Room Podcast.
There you go.
On Beats One Radio.
Actually, I do have a soundboard. I will get that up and running.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be.
I know
nice
Ben.
touch.
Ben wants sounds. Ben wants control of sounds.
Dude,
Very
Ben wants
bad.
to fucking control everything. Man.
He wants it, so I gotta find the right ones and set it up. So
Cool, man. But
Nice.
yo, honestly, I love the setup. A lot tighter than I expected, but
thank you, dude.
humble beginnings, and dude, you're gonna fucking blow
Hell,
up. Man.
oh, thank you,
Dude,
man. I appreciate
Say
it.
with me, I'm gonna fucking blow up.
I'm gonna fucking blow up.
My vibe is infectious.
My vibe is infectious.
My energy is pure.
My energy's pure.
I'm the man.
I'm the man.
I'm the shit.
I'm the shit.
There can only be one me,
There can only be one me,
and I'm that one motherfucker.
and I'm that one
Thank you
motherfucker.
for having me, brother.
Dude, what the
Let's do
fuck?
it. Yeah,
That was a
let's
fucking
do
good
it.
intro. Holy shit.
That's
And
why give me a
exa-
3 count. I was like, all right, I want to start it off with with a punch, like you said. So
Fuck
You know
yeah,
what I'm
dude.
saying?
Well, thank you for coming on. This is actually the
100%.
reason why I wanted to have you on was because you're fucking
Absolutely,
dope and you got nothing but positive energy.
no,
you know?
I appreciate that, and shout out to Ben, shout out to Brett for making this connection
Hell yeah.
happen.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
Huge shout out.
and yeah, I'm always in the business of connecting with other good people.
Dope.
And
Me too.
I appreciate all the likes, the comments on my videos and shit. You know, that definitely goes a long way.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, man, just excited to finally put a name to the face and have a conversation outside of Instagram
Hell
DMs.
yeah, dude.
You know,
I
save
know.
those.
I know.
We'll save those for the hoochies. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble, Raleigh. If you have a girlfriend, man, I'm sorry.
No. It's all good. All
Oh,
good. But yeah, no, dude, this is like awesome. It's been a long time coming, honestly. I think I heard about you
Cool.
for a while. And then when you started making your YouTube videos, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, nah, I really have to meet you now.
Oh man.
So this
Well,
is awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
honestly.
Well, I mean, the YouTube videos were kind of just like, it was a spontaneous thing. And honestly, if it wasn't for Brett and Ben, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Really? Why?
All right, so we're about to dig deep early.
I'm digging.
We're fucking 3 minutes.
Get
We're
your
3 minutes
shovel.
in.
Get your shovel, and we're gonna start digging.
Oh
Let's
man,
go.
so all right, I basically, you know, I feel like growing up, I came from a place of like intense insecurity. I never felt fully comfortable expressing myself in the most genuine fashion because I felt like, you know, when you don't have high self-esteem, when you're not a confident person, you want to seek validation externally, and you allow other people to have control over how you feel about yourself. So that's why I loved, not that I loved, but I thought being in quarantine and having the lockdown was so beneficial for me because I was by myself with my thoughts, and I really had to confront these things. I'm like, am I happy with where I am in life? Why am I not happy? It's because, and I realized, I was like, I'm not, I don't feel good about myself. I give people too much power, and I really had to bring that power back within. So I finally felt like when I was starting the YouTube, I was like, all right, I'm finally in a place that I don't give a fuck. I just want to express myself, and like all the validation that I receive should come internally. I should be giving myself the validation. I should be doing shit because I'm proud of myself of doing that. I should be doing something because I want to fucking do it because that's just,
Hell yeah.
I want to do what I feel. You know what I'm saying? So
Hell yeah.
so I don't know, shout out to Ben and Brett for always like pushing me to be my best. And yeah, man, it's I feel like the people in your corner are very important because, you know, you want to be around people who want you to push the best out of you, not really put limitations on you. So I know I'm kind of running in circles here, but long story short, YouTube, it was just like a step in the right direction for me. Not only as a content creator, but also as an individual, you know, trying to step outside the comfort zone and really grow as a person.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. And also, don't be worried about running circles because I think my podcast specifically, like if you listen to other podcasts, people's podcasts are like a half hour or like 45 minutes, and they edit the shit out of it just because they're like, oh, people's attention spans are like they're really short now and all this stuff. But I'm like, it doesn't make sense because I think that the longer the podcast is and the more free forming the conversation is, it really helps to show the guests like what they mean. And so sometimes for the guests, they have to navigate through all this stuff to answer one question. And that's what I really want to hear, honestly,
Absolutely,
to be
man.
specifically honest, because like that's where the meat of everything is. So I don't care if you repeat yourself like
100%.
1,000 times,
Yeah,
honestly.
man.
So I do it all the time. That's how I have to make my point is I like have to make a quick couple loop-de-loops
100%,
and then I'm there. But that actually what you said is basically something that I resonate with a lot, just because I love the quarantine, even though it was a horrible circumstance. But just for that reason too, because it made me reevaluate what I want to do and who I am as a person
Absolutely.
and how I want to see where my future is going and if it's for the better, and if it's what I want, where I want it to go and the path I'm on. So that I'm 100%. And I think a lot of people felt that way too. Because I think it gave everybody the time to just relax and take a deep breath in and not worry about work, worry about outside people, your friends, your family, or whatever. You're just kind of like, oh shit, I'm by myself. Like, I'm starting to see my flaws and I'm starting to see my health habits maybe, or like all this other stuff. So hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. You got to keep it a stack with yourself, man. Like if you suck at something, be okay with it. Like it's okay to suck at something. If you not happy with the way you look, it's okay, man. Just accept it. And you got to love yourself at every step of the process, because the process is not always pretty, but you can always find beauty and imperfection in the process. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, 100%. Now, when you were younger, was there something that happened that made you feel insecure?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Or was it kind of like something that you always felt growing up?
I would say a little bit of both, but a huge thing for me was, when I was younger, man, I was a crazy ass kid, bro. When I was like 8 years old in 3rd grade, for some reason I just like was like pulling out my hair because like I have no idea. I have no idea why like I was even doing it. I think I was just had so much intense energy and anxiety and ADHD that I was just like, I'm just gonna start pulling my hair just for the fuck of it. And then that kind of just fucked up my hairline. So for a longest time, I rocked like a single like hairstyle that I didn't even really fuck with, just because I thought that was the only way I was gonna look presentable. And then this past March on my birthday, I was like, I'm just gonna shave my fucking head, bro. I don't give a fuck. And then just by doing that, it just removed so much pressure off of me. And it really removed that just hairline insecurity.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So you kind of tackled one problem right
exactly.
there.
And growing up, man, once my hair grew to a certain length that kind of exposed my hairline, I was like, I'm just gonna wear a hat until my next haircut, and hopefully nobody notices. So but then once I cut off my hair, I removed that issue, and then I start looking in the mirror and I'm just like, I'm fucking sexy. I'm the best looking motherfucker I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. That's mad funny because I started losing my hair when I was a senior in high school. I started like my hair just started thinning. Yeah. And then, but the good thing is that my whole life I kept my hair really short. Like I always had a buzz cut.
Facts.
I only grew my hair out once and I grow like a big red afro. And I'm really sad that my hair was gone because now I'm just like, fuck, I would totally grow my hair out. Like I wanted to grow my hair out so many times. I'm like, I can't now because I just don't have hair. So, but I remember like I just kept going to a buzz cut just because like I was like, I don't want to go bald because I don't want to be bald.
And now you're Action Bronson.
I don't want to be
You're
bald.
like a reincarnation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then finally my roommate at the time, he was like, dude, he's like, just fucking do it. He's like, stop being such a pussy. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I did it and I was like, okay, it's really not
probably
that
one of the
bad.
best ideas you ever.
Yeah. I mean, I already had a one buzz haircut. Like I was already bald at that point. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of stupid not to shave my head, but like it was like a weird insecurity thing that I was facing of being like, I don't want to be bald at whatever 18 or however 19, whatever. I don't even know.
Are you okay being bald and sexy?
Yes, because I have been told that many times now.
Exactly.
And I'm very happy about that. I think if I didn't have the shape of my head, because like I have a perfect oval head and like perfect egg-shaped head, so like I can rock a bald head. Because I've seen people that don't have that and they have bald heads. I'm like, ooh, I'm like, I feel bad for you. But if you can grow a beard, you're good. I think bald head and bearded guys, I think that's the look right there.
Yeah, the beard's definitely not a look for me. I like to keep it like nice and smooth and shit. I don't really see a lot of Asians with beards and shit.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of Asians I do see with beards, but if they do have one, it is pretty good.
If they do have one, they're probably a kung fu master.
Fuck yeah, they are. I mean, automatically, that's what I assume. I'm stereotypical like that.
Well, speaking of kung fu masters, if you guys look at the screen behind us, we have Kung Fu playing in the background. It was a show back in 2003 and 2004 on Fuse TV. And they just basically play like hip hop lo-fi beats over cheesy, shittily dubbed American versions of like Hong Kong classics, like Hong Kong kung fu classics. Yeah.
You were telling me the history about it a little bit. What's the history of it?
That was the history of it. That's
that was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just gave you my 2-second Wikipedia scan.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's mad funny.
Yeah, man.
All right, so now going back to, I guess, when you were younger, when did you, so this past March, I guess, is when you started kind of kicking into this whole health phase, or have you always been into health and food and all that stuff when you were younger? Because, or I should say, your YouTube channel is basically based around you cooking specific food, I guess. I don't know if it's specific is the way to call it, but I guess just food that you really enjoy and want to share with people, and the health benefits of it, and also make a really fun and entertaining content while you view it. And you also have a mukbang at the end, or whatever. Mukbang,
whatever you want to call it,
whatever.
I just well, in terms of like my fascination with food and fitness, that dates back all the way back to I don't even know, like maybe like earlier in college, because when I was 19, I started training Muay Thai, and through that I discovered like kettlebells, bodyweight exercises, calisthenics, movement practices, weightlifting, and that kind of was what planted the seed of me developing such a strong passion for fitness and food too, because in order to perform, you got to fuel your body with the right stuff, right? And I would say, the turning point with me understanding how food works in conjunction with weight loss was when I was preparing for my first fight. I was weighing around like 140, had to drop 15 pounds to 125.
Wow.
And it was the first time in my life I ever had to do that. So
that must have been tough.
So I just had to figure everything out. And obviously it wasn't a pretty process.
Yeah.
I definitely did it the wrong way. And it definitely did it in a way which turned me off to the whole weight cutting process of fighting, because people have this misconception that you have to eat very, very little in order to lose weight. That's completely false. You have to watch the calorie density of food, and you have to be mindful of the macronutrients as well. Make sure you're getting enough protein. Make sure you're getting the adequate amount of carbs too, because people are scared of carbs, but dude, carbs are your fucking friend, man. You need carbs in order to perform, and fats are also critical for I guess mental focus and
gotcha,
and it's for overall brain function too. So that's kind of what spiraled my whole entire fitness and food journey. So fast forward a couple of years, I get more into it. I do my own research. I get really into like the Joe Rogan podcast, and they talk about food.
Yeah, dude, I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan.
I know, man. I saw it on the screen, and I was like, yo, fuck that shit. Put on Kung Fu, man. Gotta change up the vibe a little bit. But
I feel you.
So I learned a lot from there, and I also learned a lot from just random influencers on YouTube and things that I see on Instagram. And right before I went into, I started working at G Fuel. I was working at a supplement manufacturer out in Deer Park. And over there, I learned more about like supplementation and natural herbs and nutraceuticals that can naturally enhance your life without taking any like pharmaceutical drugs and shit like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not I don't like pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah,
and I'm not I don't know. The reason being is because I'm just like, it's just a business, and they're not looking at you in the best interest or looking at their pockets, of course. So yeah, I'm all for it. My dad actually works at a all natural, holistic kind of place where he's like a chemist. So he actually goes to like the middle of Peru, cuts down trees and plants, and like extracts like just everything from them, and they make it into like tinctures and all stuff. And he's actually helped out like a bunch of people with like rare skin rashes that like they go to the doctors and stuff, and like the doctors will prescribe them whatever, and it'll fuck them up. And like, so he actually had this one woman that had this super rare skin rash. I forget what it's called. And it was just consuming her body. And every time she went to the doctors, it got worse and worse and worse. And so then she found my dad's company, and then they started basically just giving her all this stuff. And that shit went away in like a week.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. So it's
what's your dad's name?
Jeff,
shout out to Jeff, man. You're a real one. You're doing.
I was gonna say I'll put you onto the company because I feel like you would like them. They're pretty dope. They're called Nutramedics.
Okay. So I know this is a cover up. I know he's actually like a big drug lord.
He's a CIA agent actually. So he actually supplies stuff to the cartels down south.
Exactly.
And
So yeah, we all get it. That wasn't a good stuff. Cover story,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, he told me I was pretty bad at covering for him too. So.
Well, anyways, sorry, Jeff.
No. But I kind of want to bring up something that was interesting that you kind of brought up was the fact of performing well with food. Because I think living in America and having a diet that most Americans have, and the mental health crisis this country is currently in, I think plays like a huge role probably in that. So, I mean, I know you're not an expert in any of this, but like, what's your kind of like, what's your opinion on that? Do you kind of agree, disagree, or like?
Well, just for the record, I'm not a licensed nutritionist.
Yeah.
Or,
also, I'm an idiot.
Doctor.
I don't even know if I just worded that question.
I just read a lot of Wikipedia pages, so definitely take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But I think that opens up a bigger issue with how we educate the public, and I feel like we just have really shitty mentorship in overall American society, or just overall society as a whole. I think we need people pushing the right type of information. That goes back to our disdain for the pharmaceutical industry, how it's almost like they want people to get sick.
Yeah.
They're just giving them band-aid solutions. They're not really giving them long-term sustainable solutions to optimal health, right? So in terms of like the relationship with food and mental health, I do feel like there's a big problem with people's relationship with food, and I feel that comes with like the right type of mentorship and the right type of guidance. Whatever they're teaching you in school, the foods that they give to you in during lunch and in elementary school, high school, middle school, whatever it is, I think it's a systemic issue more than just like, oh, like Coca-Cola's selling this, and this is the shit that you have on the shelves. That's fine. People can eat that shit, but people should have the fucking option, and people should know that there's healthier options out there, and that they don't have to eat that. Yeah, there's actually healthier alternatives to all the foods that you love to eat. Totally. People just don't know about it. Yeah, and then that goes back to the question about my food and fitness journey and why I'm making YouTube videos. I want to show people that you can eat tacos, you can eat fucking pizza, you can eat burgers, but you don't have to eat it in a traditional sense where it's loaded with unnecessary calories, sugars, and all that crappy shit. So
gotcha. Dope. See, I like that, just because I think I agree with you. I think there's a bad educational problem, I guess, to the youth. Just because, like, I even heard that the triangle, the food pyramid or whatever that we were taught in school was like made by the sugar companies, and like basically that shit's all kind of like not correct at all anymore, and like food is just like we're learning new stuff, I guess, now, or they just were hiding stuff from us. I don't know.
It's subjective. I think diet is not a one size fits all situation.
I agree with
different
that.
People have different needs, and I feel like it's going to be different for every single person. So I don't want to knock the food pyramid like right off the bat, but I do think it's flawed, and I do think it's like some changes do need to be made. But like we said before, like people need to be made aware of this.
Yeah. Gotcha. I feel you. Now, your journey with how'd you get into Taekwondo? You said you started
Muay Thai.
Or I'm sorry, Muay Thai. Wow, my bad.
Two completely different things, but I do fuck with Taekwondo though. Yeah.
My B. But you said you started when you were 19.
I was 19. Yeah, so I was either 18 or 19, man. It's just a long time ago. It was like around 2014, so I think I was about 19 years old, or 18 going on 19. But long story short, around senior year of high school, I started watching UFC, and I was watching, I was just so fascinated by all the just the complete the overall energy that of UFC and the mixed martial arts that were put on display, and it made me think that like, wow, this is really cool. Like, this is something that I want to do. Yeah, and at the same time, I was like, well, self-defense seems like a pretty valuable skill to have. That's something I should probably take up. It'll probably benefit me in the long run. And also, I was never really into like weightlifting and exercise as a whole. So I kind of saw that as an outlet for exercise.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I was tired of going to like LA Fitness, trying to figure out what to do and not really enjoying the process of it. So I was like, all right, let me try something else. If one thing's not working, let me pivot and see what else is out there, see if I can exercise a different option. So in MMA, there's grappling, there's striking. In my mind, I was like, okay, every fight starts on its feet. I probably should start with striking first and then go into grappling. 7 years later, I'm still striking. I did do some grappling here and there. I did train Russian Sambo for 2 years, which is basically it's a Russian grappling art. Basically, they wear judo jackets. And there's throws involved. There's wrestling involved. There's a big emphasis on leg locks. And it's basically Russian MMA. Shout out to Master Igor. I haven't talked to you in a couple of years. I gotta sync up with you soon. It's been quite a minute, but yeah, I did some Russian Sambo for a little while, and I did some JiuJitsu here and there. But yeah, I fell in love with Muay Thai just right off the bat. And 7 years later, now I'm coaching people and I'm passing on that information to other people.
Oh, that's
And
sick, dude. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, man. And I yeah, couldn't be happier, man. I'm excited to keep, extending this journey until the day I die.
So now what has that taught you? And like have you brought that over into your life of like training wise? Like has that taught you any lessons while you're training or learning any new moves, or and has that helped you figure stuff out in your personal life? If that makes sense at all. I don't know if I even just worded that right.
So martial arts is called martial arts for a reason. It's the art of movement, and every person has their individual style, their individual identity when it comes to striking. Same thing with rapping, with Ben. Like, he's only Ben can make Ben's music.
That's true. That's
only
very
Guest can make Guest music.
That's
only
true.
Apex Brett can make Apex Brett's music.
That's true.
So it definitely taught me like individuality.
Gotcha.
And it made me embrace my uniqueness, because I know that, like, sure, in Muay Thai, there's like knees, elbows, punches, and kicks. But, you're kind of the maestro, and you're kind of putting everything together. And there's only one person that, there's only you can decide like how you translate yourself.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So.
Now, what sets Muay Thai apart from other martial arts and stuff?
Well, Muay Thai, there's clinch work involved, so there is like a stand-up grappling aspect when you pull people down and knee them in the face and shit. But I would say it's the most complete striking art, because it does involve elbows, punches, knees, and kicks. Some martial arts like Taekwondo, there's just a bigger emphasis on kicks and like spinning shit.
Gotcha.
Boxing, strictly hands. And I feel like it varies from art to art, but in my opinion, Muay Thai is the most I guess complete art. But nowadays when you watch MMA, it's just a blend of all these different different styles. That's why it's called mixed martial arts. It's just mixing a bunch of shit together and then putting it in one, because in the early days of UFC, the primary vision was a bunch of fighters get into a cage and they figure out who has the best martial arts style, and
who's the best martial artist out of
100%.
the bunch. Yeah, I was gonna say, watching the early days of the UFC was pretty fucking cool. I mean, like just watching like on YouTube and stuff, just because I didn't get into it till I was in high school, and I was watching. Actually, I got into it when Cain Velasquez was fighting Brock Lesnar the first time for the heavyweight, and I was like, oh, this sport is wild. But I was watching two guys just duke it out, and I mean, Cain Velasquez is like and Brock Lesnar are two crazy, insane wrestlers. So that's a whole other different aspect. But I really got recently into jiu-jitsu, because I think jiu-jitsu is a really cool and interesting martial arts. But also I listen to Joe Rogan and I listen to Jocko, and just how they talk about how jiu-jitsu and how they implement it, or just how it affects their everyday life, and how it's taught them a lot, just navigating through life and getting through situations and just progressing over obstacles, and how it just puts you in a really good mind state. So I gotta take up on martial arts. That's one of my goals for the end of the year, is to take up on martial arts.
And if you ever want to train, bro, I'm more than happy to train.
Fuck yeah, dude. Man. I'm down.
Hell yeah.
I'm down. Just because I never had the experience, and I'm just like, fuck, I should have done it. But I'm like, it's not too late. It's never too late.
100%, man.
So
and Joe Rogan's right. Like jiu-jitsu, just like Muay Thai, it's just critical problem solving. That's what martial arts is.
Exactly. That's actually the word I was looking for. It was like that exact. It just helps you process stuff in like a different way, and I think that's just awesome. And also I think it's critical for everyone these days to have outside the box thinking, and have like you were saying, you are the only you, and you can only do you. So don't have the same mind and the same attitude towards everything as everybody else, because then you're just a robot, kind of like got to figure out who you are as a person.
We got to stop this fucking comparison game, though. I see so many people on fucking social media.
That's what social media is, unfortunately, and also like that's what I love about going to your content and on your Instagram too, which also I wanted to bring up. So good segue was your Instagram content, because your Instagram. I mean, you're a very positive dude overall, which is awesome, and I love that. I mean, I don't know, but and so watching how much fun you have doing what you love makes me happy.
No,
Like
I
for
appreciate
you,
that,
but
man.
also as a creative, I'm just like, oh shit, like I see what Eric's doing. Eric's out there getting after it and putting in the work. Like it makes me motivated to go out, get after it, put in the work. And I mean, even just meeting you for the first time, this is like the
100%,
first
yeah.
time we're actually talking. Because
Talking,
like,
right?
like you came over and like I wasn't trying to be a dick, but like I was like, I don't want to talk about that yet. I don't want to talk about
nah,
that yet. I
yeah,
want to wait,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know. So, but just overall, I mean, you know, like you just come in with good vibes. But I just
Appreciate
think
that,
that
man.
speaks. It speaks a lot nowadays, you know, and especially on social media, just because you know social media is just. I mean, it's an escape for people, but to an extent, you know, because like you were saying, you compare yourself to everybody else.
I think a lot of
and-
people are guilty of it, of just, seeing what other people doing and thinking that you need to be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you think that, like, if you're on their level, it's going to bring you happiness. Like,
Mm.
no, fucking stupid. You got to do what's best for you. You got to go on your own journey. Just because someone's making millions off, like, fucking hard money lending or fucking real estate doesn't mean that's what you need to be doing, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
happiness is very situational, man. And success depends on the person. One person can feel successful from, I don't know, just like
Dude,
starting a clothing brand or
what you just said
yeah.
is just it speaks volumes. Just because like I've traveled. I was very fortunate enough to travel not the world, but I traveled to a lot of places because my grandparents were Christian missionaries, and my grandpa was a very popular Christian singer. Flew all over the world. That was their job, and so I was fortunate enough to go with them to some places and basically stay in some very poor countries and see some very poor and people that basically had nothing compared to what I had back here.
Yeah.
And so I think, and I was very young at the time, so I think I got a very good culture shock into seeing basically like, oh, like I was just in the middle of the Dominican Republic for a week and a half and saw these people that don't have electricity, don't have running water, don't have mosquito nets or like anything out in the wilderness, and they're perfectly happy. You know, like they couldn't ask for it, like anything. Maybe they would be like, yeah, I want some running water. But other than that,
yeah.
they're like perfectly happy. And I was like, oh, so it's like what you were just saying. It's like a situational happiness that you
For sure.
that you bring to yourself, you know, and they're not out there comparing themselves to people on Instagram just because they don't have phones, you know,
Yeah.
and so, but they're making every day, you know, the best that they can and living their lives and being happy. So,
Yeah, depending on the lifestyle you live, like money is necessary for survival, but people can easily find joy from being a good father, being a good brother, being a good friend.
yeah,
From being grateful, bro. I think gratitude is what really happiness is. You know, if you're grateful for your health, grateful for your 10 fingers, your sense of smell, touch, taste, and everything.
totally.
What do you got to fucking complain about?
Yeah.
Stop complaining about bullshit because Becky got this fucking new Range Rover and you didn't. Like, who the fuck cares about Becky, bro?
I got a Louis
You know?
bag. I got a Louis bag.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop.
See,
Yeah, I mean, the more you worry about other people's shit, the less you worry about yourself, and then you're just gonna be fucking unhappy. It's just gonna be a ongoing cycle of
Yeah.
complete self destruction. You still
Yeah.
feel me?
Oh,
So,
dude, 100%. Just because, like, why I like your Instagram and your content is because, like I said, like when I'm scrolling through Instagram, I like coming across it because either A, it's gonna make me laugh, or two, you're saying some positive shit that I'm like, all
Self-expression, bro.
right, dope.
Yeah.
Like this is what's up, you know. So you're not making all this other. I mean, you're not making memes, but like that, like social media, I think is just should be memes and positive shit, you know. Like it shouldn't be anything else in between. But
Yeah.
but I mean, you do a good job, dude. I mean,
Thanks
you stay
for that.
constant. Plus,
Appreciate it, man.
I like your combo of the day, or was it combo of the week?
Your combo of the day. Yeah.
Combo of the day, yeah,
Sometimes
like-
weak. Sometimes I don't even do it.
It's
like,
all
every
good.
day, yeah.
But I like that stuff. Like that stuff's awesome, and I like your workout stuff. So
Thanks,
like
man.
it's cool.
Appreciate
Like
that.
you have an awesome thing going, you know. And I think that like hearing you say how like you had insecurities when you were little and all that stuff, like it's just crazy to me because I'm like, oh, it's weird because like I would have never thought about that, you know. And like
but
that's the funny thing about life, you know. Everybody like I was just judging. Or like I was just
Yeah.
comparing myself, being like, oh well, like Eric seems like a great guy. He can't have depression or anything, but I'm sure
man.
you have
Yeah.
your demons, you know. Like
Yeah, you gotta be
else.
open about like everything. I feel like a lot of people are scared to share things because they hold their ego to a certain standard. I feel like we gotta drop that shit and just be
100%.
just be you, just be open, be a flawed individual.
100%.
There's so much beauty in that, and you realize that a lot of people don't fucking care about whatever's going on with you, man. It's about how you feel about yourself. So if
Yeah.
you're comfortable in your own skin and you're like, yeah, I'm not the best, I'm not like the richest person in the world, I'm not the best looking guy and shit like that, but you know, just accept. Just it's all good, bro.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
100%, dude. 100%. See, it's crazy just because like I think when you're younger.
Sorry, do you mind if I cut in? I don't mean to say like everyone's a good looking person, but not everyone can be like Ronaldo and shit like that.
No, I
just
got
wanna,
no.
Just
totally
for the
feel you.
record,
I
just for the
totally
record.
feel
We're all
you.
fucking.
I mean, listen,
we're all
dude,
fucking hot boy
if
shit.
I could have a
over here.
chiseled body and a chiseled chin like Ronaldo, I'd be a fucking. I'd feel like
dude, I'd be a
I would
problem.
feel
I'd
like
be a walking
Ronaldo.
problem,
I
dude,
know,
for real.
dude. I would be a fucking walking sex machine.
Dude, none of your friends will bring their girls around you, bro.
You couldn't. What do you mean? I would literally just be like, "Oh, you brought a new girl?
Brought a new girl for me, dude?
That's fucked up.
man.
That's fucking. That's toxic masculinity. No. That's fucked up. That's mean. Shout out Ronaldo though, because you're the fucking man.
100%,
Fucking
man.
beast. Oh, crazy. See, like that's a cool story right there. And also just like of somebody coming from nothing, you know, and working hard and perfecting their craft and becoming one of the best.
Yeah, you can see in his
athletes in the
mannerisms, like
world.
he's very nice to his fans, and he's very respectful,
Totally.
always classy.
Totally.
And that's a good role model. And I feel like, you know, with Guest Room, like you can use that as a platform to promote positivity, to uplift others, and give other people an opportunity. Like myself, I'm so happy to fucking be here.
Oh, dude,
I'm happy to be talking that shit, and I hopefully people listening can take
100%.
something away from this conversation.
Well, I want people to catch on to you because it's important, you know, because like, and the reason why I started Guest Room Podcast is because like I have bad depression, but I always get in my head about not being good, comparing myself to other people and going, okay, well, like, what's this person doing that I'm not doing? Oh, they must just be better at this because of that. But like, that's not it. That's just like whatever's in my head just coming and fucking with me. And talking to people, and this podcast specifically is basically a way for me to hear how people get over their obstacles and their bumps and how they're going down a road that they made for themselves, and they don't even know like what the fuck is next, you know, but they're still trucking along.
Exactly.
And so it gives me motivation and passion to keep doing what I'm doing. And like what you said at the beginning, like I'm only me, you're only you, Ben's only Ben.
Yeah.
The viewer watching is them, you know? So like, exactly.
Yeah.
Like only you know what's best for yourself, you know, and only you can create the path that you're on. So it's like this podcast is basically just a place for those people, you know, to come and basically just find and be like, oh, like, what's Eric? Well, oh, I don't know who Eric is, but like he has him on for a reason. So let me hear and just be like, oh, like this is what you do.
For sure.
And oh, like you tackled that obstacle. Like I'm facing that right now in my life. Like, and you found an outlet through martial arts, and maybe they could be like, oh, like I never tried martial arts, but maybe I'll do that. Or maybe they're an artist and they're just like, you know what, maybe I'll just try and tackle this through a different medium or something, you know? So
100%.
yeah, but yeah, man, it's just yeah, depression's mental illness.
Depression's a motherfucker, man.
Dude, it's a motherfucker, man. It really is. It really is. And just like it's cool just because like that's why I love podcasts, because podcasting is perfect for video pause. Continue watching? Yes, but I can't click that right now.
Okay, no worries, dude. Just keep talking that shit.
Nah,
man.
yeah, no, but I forgot where I was even going.
You're talking about depression and how it's a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, how it's a motherfucker. Yeah, and how it gets in your head and just makes you doubt yourself so much.
Yeah,
but podcasting, what I was gonna say is basically how I found it was like I was always by myself, but getting to hear people talk and not being able to interrupt two people having a conversation, you just having to sit, would make me escape my mind. But also I was listening to two people like work out their problems and issues, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's like therapy, but in a weird way, you know, because I feel like the art of conversation has just totally like gone out the window in our culture and our generation and society and all that stuff. So
absolutely,
I found it and so that's also why I started the podcast too. Just in that way. So
100%. And I think the topic of depression just goes back to like mentorship. We need the right fucking mentors.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
And like we need fucking positive male role models in our life, and you know, people who are not tearing down our confidence, but you know, inspiring us. You know, we need more people, and hopefully we can be those people for everyone watching, the people in our lives, our friends, our family. And I think that's the ultimate goal for success and happiness. For me, at least, like I want to be in a place where I'm creating and inspiring, or just providing
100%.
value to other people's lives.
Yeah,
and
dude. I can't agree with you more. I was gonna say like my life doesn't revolve around money. It revolves around
vibes, good
like
vibes,
good vibes, and also like I will base my success on the people's around me success that I was able to like also make successful too, you
100%,
know? So
yeah.
like, but also like I've just seen how money just ruins shit, you know? Like you're like, sure, I've said this on the past couple of podcasts, like sure, make money, like definitely make money to survive and all that stuff. But I think your overall goal shouldn't be how many commas gonna have in the bank. You know, it should be like, how can you leave this mark on this earth in a really positive way and make it so that everybody that comes after you can also like get off that success too. And like I said, hopefully it's not money all the time, but whether it be good vibes or leaving behind a book or a company that whatever, you know? So
honestly, money is just a byproduct of excellence, but
ooh.
everyone has a different definition of all these
I like
things,
that.
right? So whatever you define as excellent, just money's gonna come with it. So
Yeah, that's true.
so don't be stressing that you're not a millionaire, you're not making six figures. Like the money will come, man. Just be in your bag. And shout out to Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership.
Yo, fuck
it's
yeah!
your
I forgot
fault,
you read that.
man.
I forgot you read that book.
I never read it. I'm just a huge Jocko Willink fan.
Oh, you never read the book?
I know.
Am I gonna have to buy this book for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say no to it.
All right,
you just gotta force me to read it because I have like very shitty work ethic when it comes to reading books.
Dude, you gotta read it. So then listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Jocko reads it, so
or watch his podcast.
Or watch the podcast. I mean, the podcast is the book, just in a great format, different format.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, Extreme Ownership is like we have a podcast series that'll come out on that book actually. On the Patreon.
That's awesome. On the Patreon.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you sign up for that shit.
Yeah, it's not out yet. We're working on it. I'm still working on it, so soon. But but that book is basically, if you haven't read it, go out, get it. It's basically a book that is written by two Navy SEALs, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Jocko Willink was the leader of Task Unit Bruiser in Ramadi, Iraq, and like the worst time in the whole Iraqi war. And from him leading that, he just gained a lot of leadership knowledge that he decided to bring back and share with the rest of America and the world. And so it's really cool. Highly suggested. If you're an entrepreneur, a creative, if you're a housewife, if you're a high schooler that's in a 10th grade that doesn't know what they want to do with their life, read the book. The book is meant for like everybody. It's really cool. Highly suggested. Valuable lessons in there. And also I've been applying it to the podcast. Mm-hmm. That's why I gave it to Ben and Brett so that they could apply it to branch out and just like hopefully grow the business,
Yeah,
so
man.
It's awesome.
What I realized about like a lot of these like self-help books, so to say, or motivational books, they all push kind of the same message. You are responsible for your own reality. You have complete control over how you feel, how you react to situations, where you go in life. Everything's up to you. So So
100%.
No more of that blame game shit. Nope. Like no pointing fingers. You're the fucking reason why you're in your fucking position right now. If you're unhappy, you're the reason why you're unhappy.
Yes.
If you're happy, you're the reason why you're happy.
Yep. And that decision that you made that you think is not your fault probably is your fault, But also what I've read for like just from me taking extreme ownership is also just help me not keep things in my head, and lead to some depression or some weird funky stuff. Mm-hmm. But also it helps me keep a clear head towards just everything, honestly, just because now I know if I mess up, I know that it doesn't make you seem weak if you take accountability for anything, which is weird because I think that's just something that humans do in defense, of just being like, no, that wasn't me, because you don't want to get that ridicule maybe from whoever it is that whatever you did. And that's just a defense mechanism of just feeling vulnerable, But I think feeling vulnerable is super important as a human and as a male too, because I think we as males are just like, we just try to be as beastly as possible and not show
but we have to be
any
honestly.
Emotion. Yeah,
that's
totally.
Our role in society.
Totally.
It puts a lot of pressure on people, but it's necessary.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's weird because I feel like we as humans have made such a awesome life for ourselves, but at the same time we're going against our natural instincts and it's fighting us in like a very contradicting way,
100%. Yeah, do you mind if I backtrack a little bit?
Dude, let's do it.
Are you open to talking about like depression and like
yes,
your
I'm very open with it.
So I guess like let's start with you're on a whole entire journey of depression, and what do you think was like the main contributor to, I guess, feeling like down and feeling a certain way?
I think it first came when I was in elementary school, and I don't know what happened, but from 2nd to 3rd grade, I put on a lot of weight.
Cool.
And then from that point, I realized that I was bigger than a lot of the other kids. And then that started affecting just the way I treated myself in my head. And then I think that then just progressed over time to always doubting myself, and then just progressively then going through high school. And high school is hard for everybody. So like I'm not just like trying to be like, oh, my life is horrible. No, but just like, I don't know, I was very hard on myself in high school, extremely hard. And then I did have a really bad coach, so I was really into basketball. My grade was like, we were bred to be basketball players for some odd reason. So like in 8th grade, we all like didn't make a pact, but like we all simultaneously were like, okay, we're all just gonna focus on basketball. And so 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, and by like my whole grade, I mean like I was really not that good, but I was decent. But everybody around me was fucking really good. And so we just like, and my school knew it, and like the grades above us, they knew, they were like, okay, that grade is going to be a whole other monster within itself. So when we got to like 10th grade and you were able to go on to like varsity, like a lot of my friends went up to varsity. And at that time, this coach came in, and that coach was very young, like right out of college, but he played D1. And my school probably thought that getting him would be awesome for the school program, which it was. And he actually came on when we were in 8th grade. So like he focused on my grade too, and just like I said, just perfected us and molded us to just be great basketball players. So when we got into 11th grade and we were all varsity players, we were beastly, and like we were running through teams. And but he really affected my outlook on myself too, because he was really mean and not a nice guy. But I don't hold anything against him, because like I get it. If I was young, I wouldn't be like, I'd be saying fucked up shit too that I wouldn't even know would be affecting kids later on in life. But he was also another big problem or roadblock, I would say, in my life that also made me doubt myself a lot. So yeah. So then that all just like, so that it was a lot of doubting. It was a lot of being in my own head and nobody else like making me feel depressed. So it's like all myself. That was a really long answer, but that's basically where I believe my depression started forming, was like earlier in those years, and just progressively going through life.
How has your relationship with depression progressed since, or just how has it morphed since your time in elementary school, high school, till your adult self?
Goes back and forth. I would say high school was bad, very bad. You know what it is that it depends on what I'm doing in my life that's distracting me at the time. Mm-hmm. So high school was distracting in some areas, but at the other times also very lonely in that aspect. And then college wasn't as bad because I was just running amok in college. I was like doing so much shit that like I don't think I had time to like really like think about anything I was doing. And then when I came back from college and moved to my hometown, it started progressively getting worse from there. And that was like 2015. So it's been like a love and hate relationship. I win most of the time, but sometimes it comes and just kicks my ass. And when it does come and kick my ass, it'll come for like a month or two, and then it'll subside and then come back and subside. So I go like up and down.
So you feel like super unmotivated, and you don't want to pursue any creative projects because you think everything you make is shit. Because you think you're shit.
Yes.
And
100%.
And you look in the mirror, you're like, "Fuck you, you suck.
Yeah,
you're ugly."
100%. That, but it's not even. It's more comes down to literally wanting to just shelter myself from the world and just going like, I don't want to. I'm not the same as all you guys, so I'd rather not be with everybody, and like that kind of aspect.
Damn it, you sound like me, bro. That's kind of how it was in like college.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think depression is. I think you can't say that you have the same thing as somebody else mental illness wise, because you don't.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody goes through it differently. Everyone has their own things that trigger other stuff and whatnot. So the one thing I hate is when people are like, oh yeah, I'm depressed too. It's like, okay, yeah, but like what, like your depression's not the same as my depression, you know? So we might feel the same. And I'm not saying that like that's not how you feel, but I realize that like
No, this is good. This is good.
That like that's how we all do feel though, you know, but we all make ourselves feel weird in different areas in different ways. So that's what I mean by like your depression is not the same as my depression, because like I might think I'm fat, but you might think that you're dumb, you know?
Back to
like that might be that might be what makes you super depressed. And so I think looking at it that way is good. Just because like I've talked to people that are like, oh yeah, depression's not really a thing. It's just you just gotta get motivated more and blah blah blah. And it's like, all right, well fuck you, you know, like go jump off a cliff. But
I agree with that, and it goes back to how we're saying there's only one me, there's only one you, there's only one Ben, there's only one Brett, you know?
Exactly.
Like our reality is completely different from one another. So to say like, oh, like I relate completely, like I relate to you like directly, it's just there's some truth to that, but there's also some fallacy to that.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what that other person is experiencing. So, but at the end of the day, I do think that depression is a direct result of your relationship with yourself. So,
yes, I agree.
So I think something that really helped me, at least, was just like personal affirmations. Like on my drive here, I was just saying shit like what we're saying in the beginning of the beginning of the podcast. Like my vibe is infectious, my energy is pure. I'm the fucking man. I'm the shit. There's only one me. All those things, and like as cheesy as it sounds, like once you start saying these things, like you kind of speak shit into your existence. Like you start believing that those things that you're saying. You know,
I believe that because my friend actually, who has also really bad mental illness, he does the same thing that you do, and he always tells me, he's like, dude, he's like, just do it. But I've seen him progress. Like he's gotten really 100%. Good. So like I'm very happy for him. So but yeah, I gotta start doing that. I gotta start chanting that shit.
Exactly. But
I don't know why, but
it's more than that though. It's more than the chant, and just know that like the relationship with yourself derives from self-talk, and that you have to keep that shit in check, because almost your voice in your head almost has its own personality. It's its own person.
100%.
And you got to make sure that person in there is a positive individual.
Actually, want to hear something funny? Is that I took this course called Landmark.
I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically, what Landmark is it's a fucking cult. It's a cult. Let me put it that way. It is a cult. And if nobody says that it's not a cult, then you're tripping on what a cult is, because 100% it is. But basically, it's a cool cult, though. I won't say it's like a bad cult.
Positive cult?
It's a positive cult. So basically, you go there and they teach you just like how to positively look at your life, and then to look at the outlook of your life, and just but it's of course it's a money pondering.
Well, you got to give me $3,000 in order to feel good.
Exactly. But I will say the first course of it would be the only thing I would recommend, and the only thing I would tell people to go and actually do, because it's a 3-day course, and basically and I'm going to butcher this and it might not make sense, but basically what they got to and what they made you tackle, which I think is crazy that it takes 3 days for you to actually break those, because you literally have to mentally break down these walls that you yourself have put up for your whole entire life. And so there's some people there that were in their 80s, and there's some people in there that were like my age. I was like 19 or 20 when I went, or no, I was like 21 or 22 when I went. And basically what they teach you is that there's like 2 yous that you form inside your head. So when you're born, it's just you. And then you form a consciousness basically like as you get older and as you grow up, you start learning, okay, that's acceptable, that's not acceptable. You see how society works. And basically what you form is that voice that's in your head, that when you talk, if something talks back to you or you have another thought after that, that's not really supposed to exist. Like it's a weird psychological thing like that. Like you're not supposed to have that second voice, and you're not supposed to have that other conscious of like self-doubt and whatever it is, because that is basically the other you that you've created through your life to like think that that's how you should be living and that's how you should go about your daily life. It's really hard to explain, because and honestly, you make that connection on the 3rd day, and it's weird because like you literally have that aha moment, and like you see everybody in the room who like has that aha, because you all have it at it's like the program's cool, it's very cool, but like when I got to that point, I was like, holy shit. I was like, because that other voice dictates everything that you do.
That's
and
what
it's weird. It's like really weird. So, and what's crazy is that and like it's a program. So like if you don't continue doing it, you do lose it. But every time that I do hear that voice, like something clicks in my head. It's like, you're not supposed to be there, dude. And so so without that, I think my depression would be a lot worse if I didn't go to that program. But just like what you were saying with like that one you and like you fighting your thoughts and all that stuff, like those thoughts is just basically another you that you invented because you think that that's how you should be, but really who you are is like, wait, no, like I don't want to. That's not how I feel, you know.
Sure,
so
man.
it's very, very interesting. I don't know if that made sense, but.
Yeah, that's what they call it, like second guessing. It's
Yeah.
that second voice coming to your head. But
100%.
hey, fucker, like my mind is only it's a studio apartment. There's only room for one. Dude.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's no shit in here already. I don't need you to crowd up my space. So if anybody listening has a chance, just look into it. Don't pay the money to go there unless you want to go there. Sure, do it. Like I said, it's definitely very beneficial. Only pay for that one segment because I think everything after that is just money scheme and shit. But
I'm pretty sure it was great, like connecting with other like-minded people on the same journey as you, though, right?
Yes.
It's a good networking opportunity.
100%, and also just kind of seeing how, you know, it makes you feel a little better being like, okay, like I'm not the only one in this position feeling this way right now in my life, but that feeling has come back multiple times in my life, you know, like that was 4 or 5 years ago that I went there. So there's been a couple times where I've also hit another roadblock where I'm like, shit, I don't know if I want to keep doing this or like just continue on the path that I'm on or whatever. It's just like always second guessing myself. But I always try and stay as optimistic as possible. As very down and like weird as I am and always attacking myself, I'm always stay optimistic. There's always something in me that's just like, yeah, but let's always look towards the better future. So I always try and at least make myself. I kind of lost where I was going with this. I was going to make a connection about something and creating something.
I think you need another bong rip, my guy.
I do need another bong rip, my guy.
Unleash that third eye.
Who knows?
But I'm glad it seems like you progressed a lot since the inception of your depression. And yeah, man, I mean, you know, I feel like with me, Ben, Brett, all your friends in your life, like hopefully we can be like a positive influence for you and, and help you, like, you know,
100%. I was gonna say
the shackles, you know,
if I didn't have, and this is also the same reason why I started the podcast, is to just know that you have a support system of people. So like surrounding yourself with like-minded people is so important, especially if you have depression or mental illness or whatever. Because I think if you don't have that, at least like-minded people around you, that affects you. I think if you don't have supportive, like-minded people, that's also totally different because then you don't have that support system to always lean on. So, like, I'm happy that I have very creative friends that I'm surrounded by because we all push ourselves to the next level, which is awesome.
Exactly, man.
And like what you were saying, like I think like watching what Ben does and seeing what Ben puts out then makes me inspired to go put out more of my stuff. And seeing what you do, I'm just like, oh well, shit, like Eric's Instagram's on point. I mean, like let's see if I can get my Instagram up to his level of Instagram. But it's like it's just inspiring, you know. And I don't think anybody should ever take it in a. I mean, friend wise, sure, you can take it. You got a friendly competition, but don't let your ego get in the way of your friendship because I think that's stupid. Exactly. You know, like you should always be supporting your friends, helping your friends. Even like shit, if no one's buying that ticket, you should buy that ticket. You know, like fuck it.
None of that comparison shit, man. Like,
no,
you're on your own journey.
Exactly.
Be happy for people if they succeed. I want people to succeed.
Exactly. It makes me happy. That's actually what makes me feel the best in the world is watching other people be happy, you know? And if I can contribute to that happiness, it makes me feel even better, you know?
Facts, yeah.
So I think for instance, like having Ben here and having Brett and all that stuff, like having them being a huge part of Guest Room means the world to me. And it's also like, I'm happy that we can also help each other grow our brands, you know? So it's cool. It's very fun. Yeah, and that goes for anybody else I meet along the way, you know? Like I'm down to always help whoever it is.
Yeah,
so.
man. everyone can win, man. There's enough at the table for everybody.
Dude,
There's enough food,
everybody
man.
can win. Everybody can win, and I think even if you don't think you can win, you probably still can. You just got to find that niche, you know? Because I think that's the other thing. I think I think the hardest thing in life, well, there's two hardest things in life. The first one is like nothing will be as hard as like the first time doing it, you know? And the second thing is that like you got to find your niche of whatever it is you want to do, you know? And then you got to perfect that to your way. So,
Exactly.
I mean, like, there's a lot of people in the world, you know? There's so many podcasts out there that, like, I'm competing with everybody. But at the same time, I don't look at it that way, you know? Because I look at it, I'm me.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm doing
no one
my
else can
podcast.
replicate these vibes, bro.
Hey, man, I try. So, but what about you, dude? What about, like, you suffer?
I totally, like, made this into, like, my pod. It's like, yeah,
No,
so,
I don't
so how do you
care.
feel? Like,
I don't
like,
care,
what-
man. I mean, like, what, like
I'm the host now.
have you faced any, like, really bad parts of your life where you were like, fuck, what do I do now? And then you found something to...
I think martial arts probably like saved my life. You know, like it definitely gave me a really strong support system because you know the people that I trained with ended up becoming like my closest friends and even like big brothers to me that mentor me in different areas. And also getting your ass kicked really like gets your ego in check as well. So you realize like I'm not this.
100%.
I don't want to be this fucking tough guy. I could be.
100%.
I could just be a smooth, chill motherfucker. Like that's not looking for confrontation all the time. Like. It definitely like humbles you. It makes you a humble individual. So
I agree. I was gonna say every person I know that has done martial arts is one of the nicest people I've ever met. 2, super respectful, and 3, I've just learned from them to not pick a fight with anybody on the street because you could literally get your ass kicked. Because like I've seen people that are super skinny that are like black belts in jiu-jitsu and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
snap your neck.
I'm like,
dog.
oh, if I was at a bar and I was, let's say I was some juice head and I was super drunk and this guy was hitting on my girl or bumped into me and I'd be like, I'll break you like a twig. You know, like, nah, like, you're probably going to end up face down on the ground in 2 seconds. So like, it's awesome. Like I have the like utmost respect for martial artists and
yeah, we gotta get you on the map, bro.
dude, 100%, 100%. I did wrestling for a year, which was super fun. But at the time I wasn't taking everything in.
You didn't appreciate it. Yeah.
I didn't appreciate it. And I got into it just because my friends were. So I was like peer pressured into doing it. But I think if I understood the sport and like the mental strength and just like the overall athleticism you have to be a martial artist or a wrestler is just like insane. Like you have to be in like just your body has to be in such peak performance. Like basketball is one thing, football is one thing. Like, yeah, you can run fast, you can do all that stuff, but like, I don't know, my eyes, martial arts is just a whole other ball game.
I think anyone can do it. Anyone can do it.
Oh yeah. But also I think it's just the history of martial arts, you know, and how it's just been passed down through hundreds of years of like just people and wisdom and knowledge. And so it's like just boiled down to like almost, it's never perfected, which is also crazy to me too, you know? Yeah. So like people come along and I guess they always advance. I'm also just speaking on just like, I don't know anything about Muay Thai or
just talk that shit, whatever.
Or anything. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm thinking of like jiu-jitsu and like boxing and like kung fu and what all, like of just how like it just progresses down the lineage of people, you know, and it gets better and it evolves and all this other stuff. So I think it's awesome, and I think everybody should do it.
Yeah, I hope you take a leap of faith, and I truly believe that every man, like I feel like there's certain things that every man should know how to do, and I think one of them is self-defense, because one day you're gonna have a family, you gotta know how to defend yourself and 100%. Defend your family.
I agree.
And it kind of goes into a tribal sense. You gotta protect the tribe, right? And you gotta make sure the tribe is like sufficient. So
100%.
In order to have a strong tribe, you gotta have a dangerous tribe. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm also looking at it as I always look at things in the future. That's actually one thing my mind does really weirdly is I always, my mind runs a million miles an hour. Like I'm all over the place. I have horrible ADHD too, but I'm always thinking of the future and run through scenarios in my head. And I'm always thinking about like my future kids.
For sure.
And I was like, I want to be the best role model for them. And I think doing martial arts is one of those role model things. Cause I think just like what we said with getting over obstacles and tackling getting over humps and all that stuff, and also just self-defense, you know. I think it's important. So
listen, man, we are energy. We need to find a way to expend that energy. So whether it's
Fuck yeah.
through, I think everyone should have a creative outlet. That's for sure. Everyone needs to have a physical outlet, which is like something, you know, exercise related or even hiking, fishing, whatever it is. And then like, yeah, a good relationship with yourself. Make sure that energy that you're exuding and that you're taking in is all positive energy as well. You know.
Yeah.
So
I feel you, man. I feel you, dude. Well, kind of pressed for time, but what do you got? What do you got for the people?
right now, 1:30. Shit, man.
What do you got for the people?
What I got for the people?
You gotta leave off.
Dude. Follow me on Instagram at the real Wonton Don.
Yep. I'll leave everything in the descriptions. There's one of your videos up actually right now.
Oh shit, there we go. We got Brett over there doing a little blind taste testing. All right. And yeah, just go out there and just be the best version of yourself and just know that you're fucking special, you're beautiful. No one else can be you. And don't worry about what other people are doing. Just be on your grind, be in your bag, and just
hell yeah, dude.
Express yourself in an honest way, man.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Dropping wisdom, positivity. You know, it means a lot for me. I'm sure for other people too. Also for people that will listen back to us, you know, in the future and whatnot.
Sure.
So definitely give Eric a follow. If you don't, then you suck.
Dude, very deep conversation for our first convo.
Yeah, but now we just built a great bond.
Oh man,
that we're never it's gonna stay with us forever.
Man, dude.
But also, I think this is just the power of conversation.
Exactly.
I think even if we knew each other for a year, I think putting your phone down and looking each other in the eyes and just communicating is like a whole weird. Like I said, it's a high. Man. It's a weird high.
It's powerful,
and it is powerful. And also, you build connections, you build relationships, and I think you really better understand somebody as a person because I'm taking the time to listen. You know, I'm not off in my head doing fucking Tetris and going, I gotta go do laundry when I go home. You know, like fuck that. So thanks, dude. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna get you back on again. And I want to get you on a round table. You'll probably be on the next round table.
No doubt.
I'm gonna plan that, and it's gonna be dope.
Sure, man.
So
happy to be here, bro. Happy to be alive. Happy to be here.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, guest room.
Fuck yeah.
Episode 24 in the books.
Yeah, man.
It was a pleasure being here, and yeah, guys.
Peace out.
Be excellent.
Peace.